Right, so I've been here about half an hour now trying to get this ammonite off here, but you can see it's had the spiky bits. This is the crushed side. I think the other side's okay, but I want to try and get it out whole rather than it breaking. Well, you can see the ammonite coming right round here. It's got the nodes on there, look, and it's round the back. But it's taking some time. Well, we're 40 minutes into getting this specimen out. Well, there's me hand. So this is a nice big ammonite, and I haven't got the one with the pointy thing sticking out. Don't know what you call them, but it's a nice one. If I can get it out, I am trying to go as carefully as I can, but it's easier said than done. But you know, it's time, you know, well spent, if you ask me, because I think the other side, I don't think the other side's too bad, to be fair. Just have to go a bit careful, you know, because some of the shells coming off there. But no, sadly the ammonite was too badly squashed, and I tried to be careful with it, but it just broke up. But I might be able to put a few pieces together. You can see where I had the spikes on. Shame, but it was just too thin. But anyway, I'll take it and we'll see if we can glue it back together again. Yeah, so the clay I'm going to be using today is DAS modelling clay, and this is going to be the back base to stabilise the ammonite, so I can have a nice base for it, and then I'll probably put it in like a plaque or something, you know, so it's a bit more stable. So let's get some of this DAS out and start doing some modelling. It's air drying, so it dries quite quickly. So you can get it from I got this one online, but you can get it from the works as well. So let's it's the first time I've used it actually, so let's have a go and see how we get on. Yeah, now what I've done is I've made a base so I can put my clay, and as you can see, I've put one of the spines on of the ammonite that I managed to save. As I say, they do break up, and it did break up quite heavily when I was getting it out, but we managed to save that spine, and I'm pretty sure that I can probably make some more from the clay, so we're going to have a go at that. Yeah, I've got one or two pieces of the spines that broke off once I'd extracted it, so I've got one of the pieces here. Little bit of glue on there is all that was required, and this piece actually, if I can get it right, there we go, that actually sits on there like that, It's just sadly, you know, missing the point, but when I was extracting it, it was in soft shell, so you know, I did lose quite a bit of it with it breaking up, but there's nothing much we can do about that, so we'll just leave that to dry now. Right, so what I want is I want the clay to stick on here. So when working with Daz clay, what you'll find is sometimes it will stick and sometimes it won't. Now this is how you make it stick to a base. All you need is just water. That's all required. I've got a jug of water here. That's all you need to make your Daz stick to the base. So plenty of water, that is all is needed. So just doing it like so, equally spreading it out the way I want it, just like this, just with a brush. That's all you need. And this will help the clay stick to the base. There we go, just like that. And I've got my clay here, look. There we are, I've got my clay there. Now this is going to be the base. So what I would do is I just plop it down like that, and that should stick down nicely to the to this base. Yeah, so what I've done is I've just flattened it out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some water to the clay. Like I said, it's the first time I've done this. I'm not sure. I'm 100% confident that I'm doing this right. But we're going to put some water on here, just like so. There we go. And then we're going to gently place the ammonite on top there. So that is going to be the base, like so. So fingers crossed that this sticks. I'm hoping so, but like I say, it's the first time I've done this. Now I've watched a few things on YouTube, and that, fingers crossed, should dry and we can mould around the edges to make it a bit more stable. And sadly that piece is missing there, but I can put some clay in there, and I'm hoping that I can sort of mould it nearly the same as there, so it kind of blends in. So we'll leave that now, we'll leave that there now to dry, and we'll come back and we'll just add a bit more mould around this piece here. So that should look quite nice. Yeah, so here's what I've done so far. I've decided to go all the way around with the clay, and I'll give this 24 hours to set. It's only because I'm going to go to work now. And yeah, I built the nice base up there. You can see that's going to be nice and stable for the ammonite. All I'll have to do is make this middle piece here, which is going to be the most difficult to try and blend it in. Then once all that is done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint it, and then I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it in a frame. because that is a really nice ammonite. Shame it was crushed, and as I say, it came out in bits, but this is the Ammonite Rebuild, which I'm going to do. I can even probably rebuild some of the points that it had on there out of clay, and then paint it, and then that should look really nice. What a piece of history. Right, so here we are, 24 hours later. You can see it's all hardened and it's stuck to the wood, and that's because I put the water down first. And so all that needs to do now is to be painted a grey colour, making it look like rock. And we do have a little bit of a problem filling this space here. I've been wondering how to solve this problem, and I've decided to make a mould instead of putting the clay right into there and trying to mould it myself, because I don't think it'll look any good. So if I make a mould of this piece here, put that around there and then paint it, trouble is trying to get it the right colour, but I'm going to experiment and see how we get on. Yeah, so what I've decided to do is I'm going to fill that up with clay. I think that's the easiest bit. So I've got a piece of clay here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wet all inside here, just like that, so the clay sticks to the fossil, and that's what you need it to do. So you just do that with a little bit of water, and don't forget a little bit of water on your clay there. Being careful not to get it everywhere, because it is a bit sticky. So I'm just going to break it off piece by piece and slowly build that up in there, just like so. It is a bit fiddly, but it'll be worth it once it's finished. Bit more water on there. There we go. That's lovely. And that bit is just going to go just down the side there, like so. I mean, it's a shame, but this piece just broke up as I was extracting the ammonite from the rock. So there's nothing I could do about that. It just it came out in pieces, which is a shame, but there's not too much that I can do about that, to be fair with you. But this is the first initial stage of this procedure. I just need that, so we can go a bit down there. That's what I needed for that to just pop down there, as you do, and that sort of pop down there. That's a bit too. It is a bit fiddly at first, but it should look okay once it's in there and completed. Now I have got a piece that sort of fell off there, and there was another spine that sadly fell off there, and now we have to sort of make a ridge in there if we can, like so. It's not the best. Yeah, it's not the best, but there's nothing too much we can do about that, to be fair with you. Right, so the next stage for this ammonite is painting. So I'm going to paint the outer layer first here. You can see I've glued a few more spines on. Now this section here, I actually thought that that piece had been crushed. It had been crushed, but I did actually go back to Ravenscar and I actually found the boulder in which it was, and yeah, here's that piece just here. So what I'm going to have to do is get that piece out of there and replace it with the actual piece that I've got here, but we'll do that a bit later in the video. So let's just paint this base first and make it look really good. So here we've got the paint ready, and what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to paint the clay just like so, and then once this is finished it should look half decent. And to be honest, it's a good job that I actually got this fossil out the way I did, because I went back a couple of days ago and the rock that this was in was completely destroyed by the ocean. It was in bits and pieces. So although this is in bits and pieces and I've put it together, this specimen would have been lost forever if I hadn't collected it. So I'm pretty chuffed at that. So gently does it as you're going around. You know, this actually blends in quite well. I've got the right sort of colour here, which is good because it looks clayey. So, and it looks like it's out of the same sort of rock that I excavated it from, which is good. You do have to be a bit careful though when doing this, not to get too much paint on the actual fossil. But it might take a couple of coats of paint to blend in, but it's going to look quite nice when it's finished, and that will be going into my collection. Here we go, just little small strokes. Try not to get too much onto the fossil, like I said. That's why I'm using a fine brush. So, but yeah, it's going to look nice once this is all finished, and then I can go out and look for some more fossils. There we are, that's lovely. Yeah, I think this will probably need 2 coats of paint, I think. It's looking quite good though. Needs a little bit more of a dab just on here. And I'll show you the rest of it once I've finished. Right, so what I've done is I've painted the main base. Obviously this is only the first coat, and you can see I've missed 1 or 2 pieces around there, but with it being on this clay base now, I can lift it up and we can start painting the bits that I've missed, and I can start prepping off a bit of this piece here. There's a piece of clay there that you don't really need, and yeah, it's looking quite nice. So here we have the finished product, the Ammonite Rebuild. Yeah, so basically what I did, I went over with 2 coats of the dark greyish colour to make it look like clay, what it actually came out of. I did a bit of prep work here with the tool just to remove this piece of rock. I couldn't remove all of the rock because these little spines are quite delicate and they were just popping off, so I decided to leave that there. And also you can see the original shell here, which is smooth. Now I did try and pop some of that off with my air tool, but as you can see here, it was actually taking the shell off with it, so I decided just to leave that. You can see the little bit of original shell there, and you've just got this really thin layer of rock covering the shell, but as I said, it's popping off the shell as well, so I decided to leave that. So that's one specimen finished, which is good. So I shall start on the next project.